The McLaren 600LT Spider is mind-bendingly fast. Close your eyes, and imagine the McLaren 570S. If you've never been in, now imagine a 600LT Spider. You can draw a lot. The base carbon fiber tub used for the 600LT, called Monocell 2 as opposed to the Minoka GE used for Super Series cars, needs no upper support structure, so the roof is there for security and the elements, not for chassis rigidity. Therefore, this Lieutenant also, probably not coincidentally, looks like light, and this is where McLaren's specialty lies. Though the powerful, the 3.8L twin-turbo V8 is the snap-red beast if ever seen it, making 600 horsepower and 457 lb/Ford in this trim, with a billowing exhaust tone and glorious, upward gunfire. Assuming this is not, while space and, technically, practicality are not affected versus the normal 570S Spider, even the normal seats are fixed back buckets that may not be suitable for the larger framed among us. The optional, on the relatively smooth tarmac between Scottsdale and Arizona Motorsports Park, the 600LT Spider delivered beautiful driving dynamics, with a firm, short travel brake pedal and only the very occasional need to go anywhere near full throttle. Even half pedal. McLaren was kind enough to provide us a circuit, the 2.3-mile, flat but fun Arizona Motorsports Park, a 2.3-mile, 16-turn road course with plenty of runoff and a backdrop of aerobatic fighter planes, as it sits in the shadow of an Air Force base. Thankfully, the dominant vibe is one of confident speed. McLaren's. There is a strong argument to be made that the 600LT Spider is the best car McLaren makes. It offers a top
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.